this is Valentine Visions at you again with more gameplay of we're going to be doing two on let's say. Last time we finished up with we're going to be moving on with a nuke Norman. I kind of want to give people time to kind of tune in. I see that we haven't got anyone looking yet. Just give me one moment to get up in the chat. I updated the app, so I'm very confused by it. There we go. And bam, we are in the chat, and I am going to start very, very shortly. As in now. Always love the little hints, the loading screen hints. No matter what game it is, I love loading screen hints. Helps you remember where you are, what you're doing. Mortal Kombat all morning, so it's good to have, you know, a reminder that, you know, maybe playing something a little bit more calm now. Drugs are bad, kiddos. Don't do them. This guy has always been one of my favorite actors in the entire game. I like what he does. He does a pretty good, like, Boston, like, New York accent. He falls in a couple of places, but, you know, he's not bad. Man, that actually looks really good for an 11-year-old game.
The zone is sectioned off, sir. Please step back.
Agent Norman Jayden, FBI.
You got a badge or something, Mr. Jayden?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Check.
It's me, I promise.
Pass.
I'm looking for Lieutenant Blake. Is he around?
I saw him arrive earlier. He's here somewhere.
Thanks.
Alright, let's do a little limbo. Easy does it. These are one of the coolest things in this entire game. Like, it's a really cool concept, and it's amazing to see how quickly
Video memo
technology
recording. Agent 47023
has moved towards
Jayden,
things like
Tuesday,
this, like
October
augmented
4th,
reality.
2000.
I would not be surprised if we have this, you know, a
8:49.
few more years. Play Scooby-Doo and look for clues.
Unrelated to the investigation.
Indeed. I'm gonna try to look at this thoroughly that way I get all the clues. I'm gonna tamper with this evidence by walking directly over it.
Arid comment. Sample of no interest. Comes from one of the policemen present on the wasteland.
I keep trying to rotate my camera, and that's why I'm accidentally, like, almost taking off my glasses every time. I forget this is not a thing I can do in this game. bit strange. Not sure what that was.
Some orchid pollen. The concentration of pollen in the air is quickly decreasing because of the rain, but it gets higher in the direction of the body.
Let's go take a look-see.
Hey, you there! What are you doing?
I'm looking. Doing some cop stuff.
Lieutenant Blake? I'm Agent Norman Jaden from the FBI. I went by your office this morning. They told me to be here.
Now, if you're looking for rain, dead bodies, and highways, you come to the right place. Mike, will you tell that asshole with the bulldozer to stop for 5 minutes? I can't hear myself think here.
Right away, Lieutenant.
Well, are you coming, Jaden?
Maybe.
So, what happened?
Some guy taking his dog for a piss found a body about 6 o'clock this morning. We don't know much more right now. Based on what we've seen, looks like the work of the origami killer.
Has the body been identified?
No, not yet. We should know more later today. Any news on the coroner?
He's on his way, Lieutenant.
We've been waiting for an hour, for fuck's sake.
Do we
Got
know
the
the cause
smoothies.
of death?
There are no marks on the body. Chances are he was drowned, like the others.
Any witnesses?
None yet. Given the neighborhood, I'd be surprised if anybody saw anything.
Do you have any leads?
My men are going over the scene with a fine-tooth comb. If the killer left anything behind, we'll find it. Tony, I don't want to see a single shit-stirring journalist within a mile of here. You got it?
Yes, Lieutenant.
Has the time of death been established?
Asking the important
Based on the
questions
rigor mortis, must be less than 6 hours ago. We should know more once the coroner has had a look.
The case seems to be attracting the attention of the media.
Yeah, a greedy pack of vultures. These guys have killed their mothers for a scoop. Some investigation. It's becoming a three-ring circus. Listen, I'm a little busy here. Why don't we discuss all this a little later, back at the office?
Oh, no problem. I understand. Do you mind if I have a look around?
Be my guest. Hey, Jaden, you come and see me if you find anything, okay? We're on the same team now.
Alright, well let's go ahead and look around a little bit. Don't want to talk too much during that dialogue, 'cause it's very important to see the relationship between Blake and Norman get started, because they have some really interesting moments later that I'm very excited to play through with you guys. I'm going to see if I can continue my look around here. I'm not sure the things I've missed. Did I already investigate that? I have. Okay. Let me actually look
Harry
at the
comment. The
baddie.
victim is lying on his back. No visible signs of violence. An orchid was placed on the victim's chest.
Very much consistent with the MO there, for sure.
Superficial wound on the right thigh. Blood analysis suggests it could be post-mortem. Probably a scratch that occurred when the body was being moved. The blood report indicates an advanced and long-lasting state of exhaustion. A small origami figure in the right hand. Fingers were probably closed after the time of death. The victim is Jeremy Bowles, declared missing 5 days ago. See reference file. His face is covered with mud, like the other victims.
I think I've seen all of the things there's to see there. Let me just peruse here just to be certain. I remember there being a pretty heavy critique of this game when it first came out. They like to solve the crimes, all you have to do is walk around and press R1. But you know, that doesn't really solve anything. You still have to, you know, you can get it wrong, of course, at the stages, and it doesn't really make a huge
Harry
difference in the
Conant,
narrative.
sample of
But
no interest. Comes from one of the policemen present on the wasteland.
I'm not sure if I've ever been back behind here. It's a very spooky Silent Hill Resident Evil type angle there. Very spooky. Trying to figure out where I'm going to be examining the blueprints, because there's a lot of them. But I'm sure there is a method to the madness here. Got a hit on something? We
Harry
certainly
Conant,
do.
the pollen particles disappear in the tall grass. It's probably the end of the trail. Harry Conant, traces of blood on the railroad track. Analysis confirms it comes from the victim.
Curiouser and curiouser, right? Got stuck on the tracks there for a second.
Footprints continue just after the pollen trail. There's a good chance that they're the killers.
Got something? Right there.
Harry Conant, there are traces of blood on the fence behind the railroad line. It comes from the victim. The killer came this way with the body and probably grazed it on his way through the fence.
Brain blast. Solve the crime, everything's all done. I remember this segment. I had a lot of problem with it when I was younger. Ugh. Put your hands into some very interesting positions. You think that's it, but it's not. No, I love how you can go back down after all of this. Just like you can just take a break and it's like, nah, I'm good. Oh, I released the wrong button. Made an oops. Not bad. Only fell once. Precisely once.
There's a good chance that they're the killers.
Those are the feet I was looking for.
Tire tracks on the side of the road behind the railroad line. It may be the killer's car. I think I've seen all there is to see.
Gotta double check, just in case it's trolling me. Nah, we're good. We've seen it all. Getting down is a whole lot easier. Say that. Spoke too soon, obviously. Alright, let us go back through the fence here.
I'm heading back to the office. You staying?
No, I've seen enough. I'm leaving too.
I am good. Pretty sure I've seen all I can see. I'll definitely know whatever the trophy pops or doesn't pop for that. I've gotten better at walking, as you can see. I have not struggling nowhere near as much as I was yesterday. Spoke too soon. Guess I had to wait for him to do his little quick time event. There we go. Gonna hop in my cute little FBI car and skedaddle. It's always been a fun scene for me too. Like, I love how it changes the gameplay we've established so far. Like, you have Ethan, which is, I don't really know what makes him special, like besides, you know, his connection to the origami killer here. But with Ethan, he's not really has like a special playable thing, but you're like a detective with Scott, investigator, private investigator, and then with Madison, we'll meet later. You know, she.
Don't think, Ethan. Give me the first idea that pops into your head.
Guess I better pretend to play again.
A bat. A wolf's head.
Definitely crab.
Death. Death.
Thank you guys for joining in. She stopped by the stream. The first thing we started off with was Norman Jayden's investigation of the missing child who had been found dead in the wasteland.
I have the results of your MRI scans.
Hey, don't be
Everything
sorry
seems
that
to
you're
be
late.
normal.
Not a problem.
There is no physical damage from the accident. However, I am worried about your psychological condition. I know it's not easy, but you've got to start over, Ethan. You're not responsible for what happened.
Just gonna get right back up again.
It's my fault Jason is dead. He'd still be alive if I'd been looking out for him.
It was an accident. Accidents happen every day. You can't blame yourself forever for your son's death.
I most certainly can.
How is Sean?
I know he's
Oh yeah,
disappointed in me.
for sure.
I'm not the
Quickest
father I used to
MRI
be.
ever.
He's a great kid, you know. He deserves better.
And what about you, Ethan? What do you feel?
Like the wrong kid died.
I
Depressed.
no longer want to live. I have no reason to continue.
Not even for your son, Sean.
I couldn't save Jason. Sean doesn't need a father like me.
Man, don't think I've ever heard that performance because that was
Is there something else you wanted to tell me,
Great.
Ethan?
like he knows. Nothing.
No. No.
That's the end of this session. We'll continue this conversation next week. You were lucky, Ethan. It's very rare to survive such a traumatic accident.
I don't exactly feel lucky, Doctor.
His fingernails are very pink. Are you
Do you want to
hungry?
eat something?
I might have a snack this time. Maybe.
Aren't you gonna go play with the other kids?
I don't feel like it.
Is something the matter, Sean?
No, I'm alright.
How did things go at school today?
I feel like this is a very accurate
The teacher
representation of
yelled
how
at
it
me
is
for
to
being late
talk
again.
to a kid.
She's gonna send me home the next time it happens.
I'm sorry about that, Sean. Next time, we'll really pull it together, okay?
But yes, whether or not Ethan got hit into a murderer state is to be determined. It's amazing how he'd be so comfortable with just leaving his kid behind, you know, seeing as what happened with this other kid.
I haven't been on a seesaw in a long time. What do you think?
You
Yeah!
know, some PTSD for Fall Guys. The dreaded seesaw. The destroyer of every good game.
Come on, Dad, make me fly!
Always wanted to try out a seesaw. I think I very rarely played on one as a kid because they just weren't around and they were seen as like a very unsafe thing because I was young at the cusp of dangerous toys being phased out because they were hurting kids. So anything that had gears or small places to put fingers, those got eliminated. There was a zip line, I talk about it to my wife quite a bit, at our elementary school playground that was removed from the playground when a kid's hand got smashed in it because somebody had thrown the zip line across the other side and it came back and it hit one of the kids on the hand and totally smashed their hand, and so they removed it. But they left like the composition there. Like it was there, but it was like just removed the zip line portion. That was one of the coolest
You wanna
things.
go play on the swing?
My upper body strength was never really strong enough to
I'll push
hold
you.
myself all the way across
Okay.
it, but it was just still like everyone would line up to use it anyway. I had really poor upper body strength then and now. Very, very awful at pull-ups. It's never been my thing.
Come on, Dad! Higher!
Motion controls work a whole lot better on the PS4 than they did on the PS3. I am just not built for pull-ups.
That was cool.
Can't Can't imagine what a kid must be going through, losing their brother at such a young age, and then just trying to adapt to a new sense of normal. It's a really, really sad thing to think about. Yep, this is a PS3 to PS4 port that came out.
What about that merry-go-round? I bet I can push you so fast you
7
won't
to
be able
8
to stay
years
on it.
after the original.
Great!
I got the dates whenever I was booting up this last time. It was 2009 is when the original game came out, and the port came out in 2016 originally. The game's visuals hold up, but they like remastered it slightly, but
Go on, Dad. As
they
fast
really
as
just
you
upres
can.
the textures, I believe.
Faster!
You can see the thing with losing a brother at a young age, like, I feel like it's one thing to lose a brother anyway, if you're a kid, but like, having to grow up with that absence, and just wondering what's going on, or wondering, you know, what could have been had they both been there, just thinking like, what would this person think of this, what would this person think of that. I think that's true for anyone that you lose. And I think it's just a very
My head
heavy
is
thing to deal with as a child.
Good training for astronauts, though.
Death is such a confusing thing, no matter what age you are. But I feel like, you know, kids barely understand life. Honestly, barely understand, you know, a lot of things. There is an achievement for doing more things with him. Let me just check and make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, that's right. There is an airplane.
A boomerang?
A boomerang.
You know how to use it?
No, not really. I can never make it come back.
Can I give it a try?
I could literally throw my controller across the room on accident. I've never been able to do a boomerang myself. I don't even think I've ever actually even thrown a boomerang, if I'm honest. Like, I have vague memories of wanting to, but
Whoa! You did it, Dad!
always wanted
Do you
to
wanna
try
give it a
throwing
try?
boomerang
I
though, for
won't
sure.
be able to do it.
Oh, come on, let's try it together.
You do it, man.
Now, the main thing is to get the right position at the beginning. Now, you gotta throw it straight.
I've always
and
been more of a
little to
frisbee
the right.
person. But you really can't frisbee by yourself. You can boomerang by yourself, I guess, in theory. But
Now, throw it!
just never had one. Never thought I could get it to work. I thought it was always something that just seemed very fake. Didn't seem like something like that could really exist.
I did it! I did it, Dad!
Good job, Sean. See? That wasn't so hard.
Seems like witchcraft to me. Boomerangs. They shouldn't work like they do. Australian black magic is what it is. Boomerangs are Australian black magic. And I think the carousel, yes, I think that's the other thing that he has to do. So we can pop him on the carousel. Yo, dog. Hello. Hello, fellow dads. Maybe I've done enough. I don't think I've ever actually seen this other side here. Pretty sure I can do the carousel, but I think the game is just ready for me to be done. What's up, Dallas? What are you doing?
Looks like rain's coming. I think we better go.
Okay. You know, sometimes I remember before. I mean, when Jason was still here. Sometimes I wish everything could just be the way it was before.
Me too, Sean. Me too.
Maybe the carousel ride is actually part of the story moment, because I'm pretty sure it happens. I don't think I'm a crazy person. I mean, that's totally possible too.
Hey, Dad, can I have
There
a
we
ride on the
go.
carousel?
I
Can
just remember this game. I remember all the things that happened in this game, but I just
Go pick a horse
I
and
don't
get
remember
on.
things, certain things
I'll
that
get a
trigger
ticket.
it. Or get a little too ahead of myself.
One, please.
That's $1.
I appreciate that. I played this game when it came out, and I never... There's still some endings that I haven't seen yet. Because I always wanted to unlock all the endings. There's a trophy for unlocking all the endings, but conditions for getting some of them is very specific. And it will require playthroughs every time. I'm gonna try to get a good ending. You know, there really isn't a truly bad one. Well, I take that back. There are some truly bad ones here. Some absolutely horrible ones. I missed that. I had my I was talking and I was just like talking with my hands and I literally missed that quick time event. Good thing I wasn't one of the ones I could die at during. Right? That could have been bad. I always loved whenever I would run so fast, the animation is so quick that you'll hit that invisible wall. And I do it every single time I play this game, because like it's just like he runs into this invisible wall and it's like stops running, but you see it before it fades out every single time. No, you cannot redo. There are no redos. So if you fail, yes, he did. He blacked out and lost his other kid. I know. Ethan is just he is bad at 101. I always loved how this portrays a friend. Like with the shaking of with the movement, everything is so erratic. Close camera angle, music score. I really ruined Sean too. I ruined both of my kids. Jason win the sword battle would not be dead. I used to think that was a way to prevent it. I used to think if I let him win, and there was some way that could keep it from happening. That's the beauty of being young and playing video games, is that you don't see it as just checks and balances, or, you know, if I do this, this will trigger, if I do that, this will trigger. There's this air of mystery that you just accept could happen. You accept that anything could happen in a game. And that's one reason I loved playing RPGs so much when I first started like playing video games. Like, it felt like anything could happen. I could take my time with the story, I could go grind, but you know, of course I didn't know it was grinding. Then I was just like, I'm just gonna go battle, because I love playing battle systems. Not that young. I was in high school. I would have been in 10th grade? 9th or 10th grade? Yeah, around that time. 14 or 15, yeah. Always wanted a full game like this. His character is a lot like... You don't have an old man, Kane. You're not that old. It's amazing how much this character of... What is the main android character? I know the name of the actor. I mean, yeah, pretty much Neo. But the guy who played Brian Deschart, he plays the android in Detroit. His character reminds me a lot of him because he's like, you know, an investigator. He does all the fun stuff, and he has all of the cool investigation techniques and unique features. Connor, thank you. Could not remember his name. I love how impatient Norman is. I don't remember ever doing that motion with his mouth either. Like the little... Pretty wild. Seeing and noticing little things that I never noticed
look
before.
At the reports later. Oh, cancel all appointments for this afternoon.
Okay. Oh, Captain. Agent Norman Jayden from the FBI is here.
Jayden, of course. We've been expecting you. I'm in a bit of a hurry. Do you mind tagging along? We can talk as we walk.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to introduce myself before getting started, but perhaps there's a better time.
No, it's fine. I just have to get to the press conference. We have them every day now. Believe me, it's not always easy finding something to tell them. Fortunately, today we have some news. Have you met Lieutenant Blake yet?
Yeah, we met this morning.
He has his own methods, but he's a good cop. I'm sure you'll get him.
Love this moment here.
Do you know how to tie a knot in a necktie?
I guess.
And I really feel like a lot of these little moments were flexes on the things that the engine can do. Because, like, being able to see someone tie something
national concern
is not something you would ever see in game.
This guy is
but it looks really good, and it cuts away at the right moments to make things
work
happen.
that one out. And the press get onto it, and we suddenly become the center of the universe.
Very cool.
I'm
Very
here
cool
to
sleight
arrest
of
a
hand
serial
and
killer.
digital speak.
With all due respect, sir, the rest of it, it's none of my business.
Oh, of course not. All I'm asking is that you make progress, and fast. The press want a perpetrator, and we're gonna have to serve him up on a silver platter. Not bad.
Not bad, says the guy who can't tie a tie.
Oh, go see Charlene. She'll show you to your office. Yeah, check in on the press conference if you're interested. It'll give you an idea of the political climate around here.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the club, Jayden.
Press conference is a fun little segment. Because you can kind of direct the perception that people have of the Origami Killer. Doesn't affect, you know, a great bit, if really anything, but it's just fun to have those little flavor moments.
The body of Jeremy Bowles was found this morning on a patch of wasteland in the East End at about 6:30 a.m., 5 days after he was reported missing. An autopsy will be conducted tomorrow to determine the exact cause of death, but going from first indications,
I love press conferences in games. Like,
the state in which the body was found suggests the methodology
I know
of the
2K has tried
Origami
it,
Killer.
you know, with like NBA, and I've seen it done a little bit in MLB, like this show done
to
things
find the
like
murderer as quickly as possible.
But I
I'll
just
field some
love
questions.
RPG elements like that in games,
Yeah.
especially like those get more in sports games. Makes them
You said the
makes
methodology
replayability a lot
indicated another
higher.
victim for the origami killing. Can you be more specific?
An origami figure was found in the victim's hand, and an orchid was placed on his chest. His face was covered with mud, but there were no visible traces of violence in the body. Go ahead.
The Zodiac Killer was never identified. Perhaps the origami killer will never be found either.
I don't think there's much chance of that. For the moment, the killer may think he's invulnerable, but in the end he'll make a mistake and we'll be there to arrest him. Yes?
Did the killer leave any written evidence? Perhaps a ransom note explaining his actions? Or anything like that?
No. He has not made contact in any way, and we have only the murders to help us understand his motives. Yes. What's the question?
Some people are saying that the police were slow to take an interest in these murders because the victims lived in poorer parts of the city. What do you say to that?
That's absurd. The police make no distinctions between victims based on their social class. It is true that the origami killer seems to choose his victims from the more impoverished parts of town. The higher crime rate in these areas makes the investigation more difficult. Time for a couple more.
Yeah, you can. You can totally skip this entire thing if you wanted to. You don't even have to even like be here.
The FBI has sent
You can just
a
kind of hang
profiler
out,
to help with
actually go to your
the
office.
Is that true?
Yeah.
You seem to be
You could
well informed.
leave at any time.
Yes, we asked the FBI to send us a profiler to help us with this investigation. We were planning to announce this in the next few days, but it seems that won't be necessary.
I do think this is like vital
According to
information
certain
to me,
sources, the town hall
but
has been
some
applying pressure
people
to avoid any mention
don't.
of a serial killer in order not to have an adverse effect on the mayor's election campaign. Do you have anything to say about that?
Pure speculation. At no time has the mayor been involved in this investigation.
Okay, you can go to your office, completely ignore this, completely miss this. It's a great, beautiful things about games like this is whenever you get, whenever you see moments like this, you feel like it's a gift. You feel like it's a gift to you. And I love it. Makes that replayability that much higher, in my opinion. Okay. Office should be back here in the corner somewhere. I think this is it. Might not let me go in yet until I trigger some more. I'm going to the bathroom. I lied. Taking a bathroom break. What's up, guy? Just need to pensively stare into the mirror. Wash my hands, you know. Make sure I am dapper. Very basic, very important things.
Nice watch.
Oh, it's the present we offer to our new lieutenants. We bought the same model each year for the past 20 years for each promotion. It optimizes everybody's time, and it's the kind of thing that always goes down well. You can contribute to our fund if you like.
And I don't only want to see games like this do more choices, but I want to see your choices actually mean something. Because like
I'll be
the
sure to do that,
choices don't matter unless they actually mean something.
Captain
Because
Perry
look at
said you could
Fallout
show me to my
4.
office?
I
Yes, of
never
course.
finished
Follow me.
it, but you have options. But it doesn't matter which options you choose; they all general outcome. There's no. It's not like I can finesse and convince them to kill themselves, like with in New Vegas. God, I cannot remember that character's name, but you can convince them to just.
This.
There's a couple of characters
This
actually
is
you
my
can do that
office?
That's where I was told to take you.
It's not something you
If you
do
need
with a
anything, you
game
know
that's
where to
fully
find me.
voiced unless you just go really, really hard into it, like Witcher 3 or something of that nature, where there's a lot of different outcomes, a lot of different quests, a lot of different meaningful quests.
Okay, time to work.
And see, that's the most frustrating thing is, like, you know, it's all good until like the last like moment, and you pretty much have a pick an ending kind of thing. Like Deus Ex does that, but I think it does it well. But a lot of games are just very arbitrarily. They make you think that your decisions are going to matter, but there's nothing to score. There's no thing there to keep up with those decisions. It just affects the immediate conversation. Maybe a line or two later, but there's... Telltale kind of nailed that, like of a good scorekeeping of like things you say to people, how people feel towards you, and monitoring their overall person. That and Supermassive Games Until Dawn is very much like that too. Because man, Until Dawn, I almost had a perfect playthrough the first time I played the game, where all characters lived, but because I failed to give a flare gun to another character, that character died. And it was a screw up I made before I even, you know, realized it could be a screw up. And it was just like, man, if only I had done this slightly differently. Some Telltale games, though, they are a little, their choices don't matter either. Especially if you go looking towards the first season of Walking Dead.
Step 1.
But generally speaking,
Change the office.
Until Dawn is a fantastic game, for sure. Because I liked that you can change people and just their general, like, the way they act, just based on your decisions, and like it had like a personality scale. Very, very cool. I did play Game of Thrones. I actually have not watched the TV series, but I am a huge fan of the game. Huge fan of the game. I played all 6 episodes, and if anyone hasn't played that, I highly recommend it. It's well written, and there's a lot of different things that can happen. I'm really, really sad that we'll probably never get a second season, because it ends with such a cliffhanger. I played that one live, and it was very frustrating because they obviously didn't care enough about that game. Consistent. A couple episodes, I really just didn't care anymore because it had been like 3 or 4 months since the last episode released. Whenever they started like bringing them back out, and it's just like, man, I don't even remember the story because I've played so many other games in between that, and kind of disappointing with that. I definitely do need to check out the show eventually. I like that once I subscribe to HBO Max. Alright, let's look at some clues.
The killer's car is probably a Chevrolet Malibu 83. No prints or specific clues. Nothing much to go on. Just one origami store in town.
Until they drop the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Like, that is the main thing that's gonna get me. It's watching that, because I hated the original Justice League. And I'm a huge Zack Snyder fan. Huge Snyder fanboy. And I really hope they do the same thing with Suicide Squad. I'd love to see a director's cut of that,
The
because
orchid is
that
a common
movie,
species. It can be found at any flower shop.
I really wish it had been better, because it had so much. This is on this. Seen that. I've seen a lot of people talk about it on Facebook right now. But as far as like any other original, I do want to watch the Looney Tunes on it next. It's like another thing I'm interested in. I have my priorities straight. Very interested in Looney Tunes. Hey, Beast of Mist stopping by. I appreciate you coming by, man.
Eight victims in the last 3 years. All boys, aged between 9 and 13. No signs of violence. The victims disappear from public places in broad daylight. No one notices anything.
I am doing well, sir. How are you doing?
Bodies are found 3 to 5 days
Playing
later.
a playthrough of Heavy Rain
Drowned.
right now, on part 2,
Rainwater.
and I don't know if you watched the first one, but it is on Twitch, and I've also started and very Oh, you're done? Are you?
Always the same ritual. An origami in the hand, an orchid on the chest. The victims have always been dead for less than 6 hours when they were found, which means they remained alive for several days before being drowned.
I think it's a
Over
very interesting
3,500
concept.
people questioned. Over 100 suspects interrogated. Not a single lead to go on.
View analysis. Could have swore that you should triangulate the. I think if I do it on the victims, yeah, that's right. My bad.
Killer has a large comfort zone. He gained confidence rapidly and moved away from his base. This won't make the geoprofiling any easier.
Okay. So I'm not sure. I think I've seen all I can see here on the case, so we can kind of move on and. Ooh, here we go. Said earlier, drugs are bad, kids. Drugs are very bad.
Here we go again. I better go wash my face.
This section reminds me a lot of a section from Indigo Prophecy where you're in an office, and it's a little bit more difficult than one would imagine.
I need to take some. I'm gonna faint if I resist.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's alright. I know I can make it. I know I can make it.
The camera angles in this are so amazing. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Alan Wake now, looking back on it. Absolutely terrifying. So, I almost accidentally took it. No bueno.
Is everything alright, sir?
Absolutely not. At least I know where the bathroom is now, right, guys?
No one will see.
This always freaked me out. Just the way his hands move sideways. Like, oh my gosh. Oh boy. Keep it together. That is a lot harder than I'd like to admit to hold that and then also use the right stick. Had to move my hand completely off the left stick. Thankfully there is no DLC where everyone is on PCP. There is a DLC chapter of Heavy Rain that I've never played, and it's included in this version. It's a little anecdotal prequel to the game called The Taxidermist, where you play as Madison. They had planned prequel chapters for every one of the main characters, but that one sold so poorly back in the age of like early DLC, and no one really supported games quite like that soon, because I think LA Noire was like one of the first games to actually have a season pass, and people hadn't quite jumped on that board of like paying for extra content on the games. Like, nah, put it all on disc, and that physical movement was a whole lot higher than it is now.
With my son Sean, we played together for a while, and then he wanted to go on the carousel, so I
kind of want to know what
horses,
is out there, like if they had the concepts.
When I turned back,
you know,
Sean had
what kind of stories could have been explored there.
Exactly what time did you arrive at the park? Try to remember exactly, Mr. Mars. Every detail can be important.
It was a little bit after 4. It was 4:10. 4:10. I remember. 4:15 works. 4:15. Close enough.
Yeah, that's it, 4:15. I remember exactly because I looked at the clock in the park when we arrived.
What was your son wearing when he disappeared?
He was wearing a coat.
White. Beige? Close
a beige
enough.
coat.
I'm a good dad.
And a pair of pants.
Green?
Green pants.
I think. Pretty sure it's green.
How could Sean have disappeared without you even noticing? Weren't you right by the carousel?
Because I'm a bad father, Mr. Blake.
I can't remember
That's
exactly.
exactly
It all
why.
happened so fast.
You say you took your son to the park after school, but you didn't report him missing until 8:15. Why did it take you so long to contact the police?
I didn't know the number.
I don't know. I panicked. I didn't know what to do.
Did Sean have any particular difficulties, Mr. Mars? Anything that might have caused him to run away?
Yeah?
Sean
is a sensitive child. One could
Our
say that.
relationship has been a little difficult recently.
Everything okay at school? Any particular problems between you and your wife?
Hey, little pushy there. But yeah.
My wife and I have been separated for the last 6 months. But Sean would not have gone off without telling his mother or me.
All right. That's all the questions I have for now. You're free to go, Mr. Mars. We'll continue to look for Sean overnight. We'll contact you if we have any more questions.
Do you think the origami killer...
Listen, your son's probably just run off and he'll
Something
turn
my
up in a
wife has
couple
told me about people who are overly helpful to
But
cops.
what if it is the origami killer?
They end up looking far more suspicious
Well, then we have
for
about
obvious
4
reasons
days to
because they
find
just
him
they
alive.
want to try to exonerate themselves any way possible by just being like, I can help you. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to help so hard that you'll forget that it might be me that you're looking for. So it's like a delicate balance between that, right? One of my favorite scenes in the original Indigo Prophecy is how
Did they find something?
can describe
No, nothing yet. But they're
the
going to keep looking
suspect
through the night.
in such a way that
Do they?
it
Do
looks
they
nothing
think
like
it's
the main
origami
character
killer?
actually did the murder at the beginning of the game in Indigo Prophecy. It's very funny. It's hysterical to make it look
It's
nothing
still
like him.
too early to say. But it is a possibility.
I have never watched Hannibal on Netflix. I do love that actor though.
How could
Mads
you miss Sean
Mikkelsen.
like that?
Love him. He is incredible in Death
You should
Stranding, which
never
I
have
still
taken
need to
your eyes
finish.
off him.
Have not
Hey,
finished
for
that.
God's sake, how hard is it to keep your eye on a child in the park?
It's very hard when you
Why
black
did
out.
you leave him, Ethan? Why? Wasn't it enough losing Jason?
Bam! Below the belt.
I'm sorry. It's not what I meant to say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I miss him so much.
Give me an option to console. Be like Telltale Games. All right, Mr. Scott Shelby. I got the trophy for remembering his outfit correctly. That is really funny to me. Man, I've played this game so much that I didn't even really have to pay too much attention. Another segment that I love so much, this is a lot like the way Detroit really embraces like how differently things can go, because this scene can go so many ways. My goodness, this scene can go so many ways.
Good evening. Good evening to you, sir.
Howdy, partner.
Can I help you, sir? Well, I hope so. My name's Scott Shelby. I'm a private detective. I'm investigating the case of the origami.
He's always reminded me of like this
I'd like to ask you a few
Dollar
questions.
General version of
My son
Kiefer Sutherland.
is dead,
Like if
Mr.
Kiefer had really gone heavy on the
I have
donuts.
nothing more to say.
You know, that's the vibe they get.
I also lost someone I loved.
I know what you're feeling.
Then you will understand that I do not wish to talk about it.
You may know something that could help save other people's lives.
I was unable to save the life of my own son. I do not see how I could save the lives of other people.
Oh, do you sell inhalers? I'm all out, and at least I won't go away completely empty-handed.
In the back of the store, to the right.
Thanks.
I've never been able to find inhalers over the counter. This is such a strange thing for me, personally. Keep in mind the chips. Those will come into play later. And also, why did he not clean those up? Oh, for real, he does like Vincent D'Onofrio, big time.
Good evening,
big time. And he plays investigators so well too. He was so good in Law and Order.
Looking for something in particular?
Very underrated.
Give me what you got in the register. Don't fucking try anything.
I'm wearing a beanie, and I'm not afraid
Open
to
the
shoot.
register, you dumb fuck. Put the money on the counter. Shit, are you deaf or what? Are you gonna open that fucking register or not?
No, sir.
You can just go out the back door if
You
you
do not
want
have the
to.
right to steal that money from me. I have worked very hard to earn it. You cannot have it.
Come on, let's go.
What did you say? You're out of your fucking mind. Hey, you!
Oh man.
Come here!
I goofed.
I said come here now! Don't move! Hands up! Put your fucking hands up or I'll shoot!
Alright, 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 chill. I goofed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit the frying pan. I'm so sorry.
Don't panic. Let's just stay calm. Nobody here wants to hurt you. We're all just gonna be cool, and everything will be all right.
Yeah. I'm cool, man. Everything's gonna be all fucking right.
This guy's going hard. He is acting way too good for the scene. Give me your
My name's
name.
Scott. What about
Make it
you?
personal. You won't shoot someone
your
that
name?
you know.
Andrew.
If you know my name,
My
you're
name's Andrew.
10 times more likely to, less likely to shoot me, I think.
Look, it's not worth it. Put the gun down and just walk away.
You giving me advice? I'll give you some fucking advice.
Oh yeah?
You don't really want to shoot anybody, do you? I'm sure we can find a way out of this mess, right? Now, I want you to put the gun back in your pocket and quietly walk out of the store. My friend and I will forget about what just happened, and you'll have earned a second chance not to fuck up your life. What do you say?
I love that delivery.
Nice try. For a second there, you almost had me believing all your shit. And now...
Have you know, I have trained in the highly trained arts of CQC. I played Metal Gear Solid once, or twice. Actually, a whole lot more than that. But yes, I could go so many different ways.
Thank you, sir. I don't know what would have happened
I'm playing ball.
if you had not been here.
At least I didn't come by for nothing. Have a nice day.
When my boy, Reza, disappeared, I received a letter with a locker ticket inside. Inside the locker, I found this box. I do not understand what it means, but I think it must be a sort of message from the man who took my son from me.
Can I?
Spooky box.
Please, take the box if it can be of any use to you at all. It did not help me to save Reza, but maybe it will help you find the other little boy.
Thank you, kind man.
Mr. Shelby, I was beginning to think that there was no good to be found in this place. I can see now that I was wrong.
Such a powerful scene. Alright, well I think that is a great place to wrap up this chapter of Heavy Rain. I am so glad that you stopped by. Next time we're going to be introduced to a new character, Madison. So I'm very excited for that. Going to go ahead and stop it right there. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I, again, am just enamored and just absolutely in love with playing this game and streaming it. I'm very glad that a lot of people stopped by and really watched the stream for a little bit, and I'm very, very appreciative. Tomorrow I may do another chapter of that, and then I might take a break, and then we'll be back to it maybe next week, or maybe I could do a little bit on Saturday, but I will figure all the logistics out later. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to streaming again. You guys have a great day.